The exam is 40 multiple choice questions and 10 matching for epi and determinants of health and disease. And then there are 10 matching for the immunological response. Okay? The test is broken up so there's 15 to 20% determinants of health and disease. About 60% come from the immune response and vaccines. And about another 15 to 20% comes from epidemiology. All multiple choice matching at your request. Okay? There are two versions of the exam. You'll either get a yellow version or a white version, right? And so if you're sitting close to somebody, they'll get the white one, you'll get the yellow one, right? And we're gonna review for that now. Any questions about the way the exam is put together?
Why are there two versions?
Because I have noticed some things that make me feel like you're taking advantage of me and you're not really being as honest as I would like. And so I don't really want to make a big deal out of it. I'll just mediate that by having two exams. Okay? And let me just tell you, it's not everybody, just a few people. Okay? Anybody have any questions? Okay. So this review has some short answer in it because I spent most of my time converting the short answer to multiple choice, so I'm not going to put those up here. But it's the same content, it's just asked in a different way. Okay? So let's talk about it. So this is a scenario, because you know I like scenarios, and when I do scenarios I can do like 5 different. What are you laughing at?
I'm just sick.
You're just sick.
Nothing.
Okay. So Lauren has contracted a mild case of bordetella pertussis, which causes whooping cough, for which she has been vaccinated against as a young child. Her initial history indicated she babysat an ill child for on Monday 3 p.m. and began to note symptoms on Friday about 3 p.m. The vaccine represents which exposure? Primary, anamastic, tertiary, incubation, or accidental?
B.
Not B.
Wait.
The vaccine, the vaccination represents which response or which exposure? First time. First time. Right. That's primary. Okay. Bordetella pertussis, the infectious agent, represents which exposure? Now it's anamastic. It's the second one. Okay. So same scenario. What was the incubation period? 4 days. And which immunoglobulin will play a larger role in the infection? IgG. And if Lauren was allergic to a medication she was taking to combat the infection, which immunoglobulin caused her to develop hypersensitivity? IgE. Very good. So you can see that I'm pretty creative. I can take a short answer and turn it into a really great bunch of multiple choice questions. Okay? Answers are there, you just gotta pick the right one. The multiple choice questions, there are 40 of them, are worth 2 points each, that's 80. And each of the matching, there's 20 of them, are worth a point each, so that's 100 points for this exam. Okay? Okay. Sneezing and coughing are examples of which human defense process? Which is what I'm exhibiting right now, right? Flushing mechanisms. Which of the following is not a virulence factor? C. T lymphocyte is one of the important things in cell mediated immunity, but it's not a virulence factor. It's not associated with a molecule that is on the pathogen itself. Which of the following nonspecific defense mechanisms act by inhibiting viral foreign DNA replication? D is correct, the production of interferons. That's right. The degree of disease causing capacity of a microorganism is known as its, that's correct, say it, Nikki. Virulence. She was like, virulence, that's correct. A disease that is present in the population is best described as what? Always present in the population. Endemic. Yeah, if you haven't watched that epi, you're gonna be very hurting if you don't watch it. Okay? Which immunoglobulin is responsible for an anaphylactic response? E. Right. D, the answer is D, IgE. Okay. Yeah. So, okay. So, in Austin, a group of ornithologists are studying screech owls in the wild and have salmonellosis. One of the researchers is experiencing her third infection. What is the likely cause of the source of infection? So now you need to portal the entries. You'll do epidemiology. I've stuck in a whole thing in this one question. By the way, this is some of my colleagues that this happened to. It's a real thing, right? So what do you think was the actual source of the infection? They should have worn gloves when they were handling the owls.
D.
D is correct. Their hands, they're contaminating their hands when they're handling the owls. All right, diseases that are endemic in an animal population and can be transferred to humans are known as zoonosis. That's right, zoonosis. Okay, now there's some fill in the blank, but I turned them into multiple choice because that's what you wanted, right? Jenny was like, I want multiple choice. So. An animal that harbors an infectious agent that could transmit an infectious agent is termed? A reservoir, correct. Something describes an infection of unknown cause. That's right, Nikki. Nikki's like mouthing it. Idiopathic. Something is the route of entry of an infectious agent into the body. Portal. Something is to find the number of, notice, new is bolded, new cases of an infectious agent in a given population at a given time.
No.
Which one? What's the answer? No. Number of new cases. The answer is incidence. Okay? Something is produced on the inside of the cell and released to the outside of the cell where it exhibits its toxigenic properties. Exotoxin, not exotoxin. And something is the movement of neutrophils from the circulatory system into the tissues or organs to attack a bacterium and protect the host body. What is it?
I just remember this.
Huh?
Did we
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Diapedesis. That's right. Oh, okay. Okay, here we go. So describe the process of phagocytosis by discussing the different phases the macrophages uses to engulf and destroy non-self entity. Cake, right? So what's cake? Chemotaxis, adherence, ingestion, killing, and elimination. Now I've turned this into a multiple choice question. Right? So it would be different. But you know, this would be worth 10 points, and if it was short answer, you have to give me some, you couldn't just say cake, you have to tell me some stuff. Right? The infectious process of Staph aureus, explain. What's the infectious process? The organism has to enter host tissues. It has to begin to grow, and it has to have a constant supply of nutrients. One of those things doesn't happen, it won't work. Right? Okay, here we go. So the categories of, now I've turned these into multiple choice, right? So structural, enzymatic, toxicological, and antiphagocytic, right? I've turned this to either a multiple choice or a matching, right? Let's just take enzymatic. So enzymatic means that the organism produces certain enzymes like hyaluronidase, right? Hyaluronidase is my favorite enzyme. Do you think it's going to show up on the exam?
Yes.
Hyaluronidase does what?
And it destroys
The cement of the cells, hyaluronic acid. And what is it known as more commonly? Because it's easily spread. It's known as a spread factor. Okay? Good. So now this, I love this question. I've turned it into a multiple choice question. Here we go. So explain whether the following are examples of an infection or an intoxication. 84 people who ate shrimp in Galveston developed diarrhea, nausea, headache, and fever from 8 hours to days after eating. Is that an infection or an intoxication? Infection. What are the key characteristics that lead you to believe that? Huh? It's long period of time and?
The symptoms?
Well, which one? Fever. Fever. Those are the two principal things that say, I'm an infection. Read the other one you know is intoxication, because if I wouldn't get too. But here's the other one. 4 people in Austin who ate turkey developed malaise, nausea, blurred vision, difficulty in breathing, and numbness 3 to 6 hours after eating. So now what we got? Short duration and no fever. That's an intoxication. Okay? Good? Okay, so remember this, I told you that you should know immunological down. So be sure that you know those terms. I've done something with them. Okay? And then be sure you know this. Now I'm not gonna ask you to draw this, but I've created questions around this. Right? So first, second, and third line of defense. And then, oh my God, my favorite thing of all, you know it's gonna be there. I've developed like 5 questions on this one thing. Okay? Be sure you know it. Bree, don't miss out. And then this is important. I've developed lots of questions on this, right? And so be sure you know about acquired immunity, natural, and then active or passive, artificial, active or passive, right? And so those things that are active, are they long duration or short duration? Do they stay with you forever or just a little bit of time? Forever. And those things that are passive, are they long-term or short-term? Short-term. Okay? And then you should know this. Now, if I didn't talk about mast cells, which I didn't talk about them, it's not going to be there. But everything else, right? Humoral, cell-mediated complement. Oh my God, I would be crazy on complement. Okay? Good? Anybody have any questions? Exam on Thursday. I forgot this one. Don't forget about the different types of vaccines. Okay? I show you these because these were inspiration to me when I was writing it down. I was going through, what can I write about? Oh, look at this. And then I wrote a bunch of stuff.
What about vaccine?
About what?
What about the vaccine?
I might, say, well, which vaccine incorporates a piece of, a piece of a cell that allows the infectious agent to develop immunocomplexes to that. And you say what? Subunit. Which of these vaccine platforms will allow the organism to revert to virulence? And you say what? Attenuated. Okay? Good. Stuff we talked about in class. There's nothing that I picked out of some book. I wrote all these myself. They're my questions. And so they're things that we talk about in class. Okay? Anybody have questions? I like that picture. I couldn't do anything without that. What did I write about this? Let me see.
The end.
Okay? Anybody have any questions? So listen, it's the same material. It's just in a different platform. It is multiple choice and matching. Per your request, you voted on it. Okay? The good thing about this is there's only one correct answer. No, you don't have to write anything, you just pick it, and then you blot it. Everything gets put on the Scantron. Okay? Everything gets put on the Scantron.
So there's no shortage.
You all voted for it. No, you didn't want it for it. I know. Jenny was like leading the charge. I said, who wants more cookies? Okay? All right. Take 10, see you in lab, unknown. Who's going first?
Oh, not
You-
yet.